with this thing.
Okay, that's cool.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of How You Do That podcast. On today's episode, we've got the only
Mitt Man Joe.
Mitt Man Joe. That's right. This is a man that, if you know sports, combat sports, is a man that lives, breathes everything boxing, jiu-jitsu. Joe, go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm sure a lot of our viewers have already heard of you, but for those that may not be in the know of combat, let them know what it is you do.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mitt Man Joe. I'm a striking coach out of House of Ju Jitsu here in the south side of San Antonio, Texas, or Southtown. And I'm a striking coach. Everybody knows me as Mitt Man Joe. I hold pads. I work with different fighters all over the world. And I'm also a cut man for Fury Fighting Championship. So, yeah, man, this is what I do. I do this 24/7.
Now, for the cut man position and everything like that, when a fighter gets cut, I mean, what do you stitch them up literally, or how does it?
I don't stitch them up.
Right.
I stop the bleeding.
Stop the bleeding. That's cool. Yeah. Do you use, what's that thing called that you see on TV? It's like a giant metal thing. Looks like
an inswell.
An inswell.
Yeah. So the inswell is just used for if the eye gets swollen. They have anything that gets swollen in the face area. You just kind of put the inswell on it. You don't press down on it too hard. You know what I mean? You just kind of maybe rub it a little bit, and it drops the inswell. This drops the swelling part.
Okay, brings it down, makes it easier for them to see out of their eye and everything. And that's a real interesting position. Is your mind in a different space when you're in a corner as a cut man versus as like a striking coach?
Yeah, definitely. I don't care if it's my fighter that's fighting or a fighter that I work with that's fighting. The moment that they're fighting for Fury, and there's another, and we're going against someone else, it doesn't matter, man. If the other corner, the other guy gets cut, I'm gonna, and they're gonna stop the fight. I'm gonna make sure that fighter's okay. That's just an understanding I have with my fighters when I work with them. I'm not there as a coach. I'm there as a cut man, and that's just the way it is. You got to balance it.
Oh, for sure, 100%. Yeah. And it seems like in order to be a coach, and also especially like what you're saying as a cut man, you have to have a certain heart. And it feels like you've got the heart, not just for the sport, but for the people also. I mean, I feel like that's really important.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can't, when you're a cut man, you cannot be selfish. You have to, it's about the fighter, it's not about coaches. It's not about this fighter, that fighter. It's both fighters are getting inside the cage, and both fighters are willing to risk their lives. You just never know what could happen in there. So you have to make sure that you take care of both fighters, and you make sure that they get to the last round, whether it's the third or the fifth round.
Now, do you feel, since there's so much on the line, I mean, literally their life, their well-being, and the belt, everything is on the line while they're in there. Do you feel like that's a big component that creates such a strong bond between you and the fighters that you work with?
Definitely. First of all, the fighter you have to be a good cut man. Right. There's a lot of people that say they want to be cut men or cut women. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a title or what, but are just being relevant to the sport. People want to be a cut man or a cut woman, but it's not just anybody could do it. You have to have the hand, you have to have the patience, you have to have the passion, you have to have the mindset that I don't care if you got a broken nose, I'm going to snap that thing back in place. I don't care if that's the worst cut I've ever seen. I'm going to do whatever I can to stop the bleeding. I'm going to do whatever I can to get you to that last round. You just have to want to, make sure the fighter gets to each and final round.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Who was your mentor when you got involved in that?
My mentor first is Aaron Navarro from Houston.
Okay.
I learned a lot from him. I would drive to Houston to learn how to wrap hands. He would teach me how to wrap hands. I would just sit there and just watch him work with fighters. He has a lot of top fighters. I also Vic Starita. He lives in Las Vegas. He's taught me a lot. He's a cut man for bare knuckle boxing.
Okay, cool.
So he's I think he made it into the Hall of Fame for bare knuckle boxing, if I'm not mistaken. Man. But he's definitely a good friend of mine. More like a brother. He's taught me a lot. So shout out to both those guys, for not being selfish and teaching me what they know. So I kind of took that, what they taught me, kind of made my own thing. And it's worked till now. But I definitely owe those guys, a lot of respect, and I appreciate it.
That's awesome. I mean, I feel like that's very important to make sure that you have somebody that's willing to take you under their wing and really just share and show you the ins and outs and lace you up on how to do everything the right way.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
With Fury, that's a very active league. Or they're fighting year round, things like that. Do you have any upcoming fights or any fighters for any upcoming fights coming
Actually, tomorrow, December 3rd, is the last card of the year. So we're definitely headed to Houston. We're gonna, well, I'm headed to Houston. I have a guy that goes with me and he helps me out. His name is Sean. He actually trains out of House of Ju Jitsu. So he's gonna go with me. He helps me, man. He shadows me. He's learning the ropes, stuff like that. So tomorrow we're gonna go knock out this show, and we won't have another show, I believe, until January 21st.
Okay.
Of 2024. So definitely the year that's coming up is gonna be pretty stacked for Fury Fighting Championship, man. They're the fastest growing promotion in the nation. You know, bringing guys from all over. Eric Garcia, man, and he's killing it right now. You know, so. Shout out to him too.
Yeah, no, that's all. That's all. Are there any other leagues that you work with, or?
I did my first Muay Thai show, which was I think like 2-3 weeks ago. It's the Dominion Fighting Alliance, if I'm not mistaken.
Dominion Fighting Alliance.
Yeah, I think they work with WBC.
Okay.
Muay Thai. Yeah, definitely they opened the doors to me. Actually, the owner of that league is named Eric as well. You know? So yeah, man. So he's pretty cool, man. So it was my first show, my first Muay Thai show. Definitely looking to maybe do some more Muay Thai shows. But for now, you know, Fury Fighting, man. I mean, nobody's really doing it as big as them, you know, besides the UFC, you know. So, and we're right there with the UFC as far as affiliation and all the guys that fight for Fury are headed to the UFC. They get those 4 or 5 contracts, you know. Eric Garcia is just not throwing these guys to the UFC, man, opening doors and building these guys, giving them good fight careers, you know, to succeed in the MMA.
That's also helping them establish a solid foundation. Yeah. That's pivotal. Where can folks watch Fury? Like if they haven't caught on yet, if they haven't watched Fury, like I got a ton of my friends that love Fury. If somebody's new to the sport, they're just getting into it, where would they go to watch Fury fights?
So for UFC, so for the Fury Challenger Series, we're definitely on Facebook, right? You just go to Fury Fighting Championship and you follow them, and every time that you know the Challenger Series comes out, amateur fights or prelims for the pros, you could definitely watch it on Facebook, or else you could go to UFC Fight Pass on Facebook, and you could just click on the link, follow them, and the Challenger Series comes out on the Facebook. Also, for the actual UFC, for the actual Fury Fighting Championship shows that come out on UFC Fight Pass, because there's different ones now. All you got to do is go on to Facebook, same thing. Fury Fighting Championship. Click on the link that's there, and you can watch some of the fights. But when the main card starts, everybody jumps over to UFC Fight Pass, and that's where the main card comes on. Yeah. So they're building fighters like Challenger Series. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like the Contender Series, where you know you got to prove yourself in order to get to the next level. You know, so it's pretty cool that Eric's doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the way it should be. Kind of, you earn your right to the seat that you're going after.
Yep.
Yeah, and so anybody that's out there, all they got to do go on Facebook, type it in, and
type it
follow
in,
the
follow the links, and then y'all know what else to do. It's hard to kind of break everything down.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you're training a host of different folks. You got a gentleman that's getting ready to make a massive comeback for the WWE, correct?
Well, we don't know yet. Okay. He's a good friend of mine, Alberto Del Rio. He's we have our talks and this and that. He's not sure, you know, what he wants to do yet, but definitely that's something that's up and coming. We've discussed that a couple of times. So he's definitely training, man, and he's getting back in shape. And so we're seeing where it goes. He actually fought Tito Ortiz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for an MMA for Combate Americas. I believe it was Combate Americas. He fought Tito Ortiz, man. So that was pretty dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For him to go. Tito Ortiz is a fucking monster. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that fights that guy, you gotta have some balls. Sure.
Yeah. With your other fighters, tell me a little more about some of the upcoming fights. So you got a big fight coming up tomorrow, December 3rd for Fury Fighting.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else with any other leagues for this year?
No, for this year, after this, man, this is the last show of the year for Fury. Then after that, I'm done. So I could concentrate on, I've been concentrating on Alex. She has that big title fight coming up. So now I could put my full attention on her and get her ready for January 27th, man. And I'm training some other guys like Adrian Palacios. He fights out of Southside Fight Club.
Okay.
He comes over here and I help him with the striking. And there's a few other fighters, man, that I'm working with that are getting their striking on point. You know, I'm glad that House of Ju Jitsu is based out of where it's based out of right here in Southtown in San Antonio, because it doesn't matter if you're 10, 15 minutes away. We're literally right in the middle, you know, so it's not even a far drive anywhere. So I'm glad that we're here and these fighters are trusting me to help them with their striking, man. And their coaches, they're not being selfish, you know, where, you can't go over there or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You know, a bunch of politics and shit like that. They're actually trusting me, man, and letting the guys come and work here, man. So shout out to all those coaches, man, that are trusting me to help them.
Yeah, and I mean, this is an excellent establishment. You know, I mean, it's awesome. It's 2 stories. You have the second floor, and it's got the weight room. It's got the heavy bag, the double end bags, the speed bags, everything that you would need from a boxing standpoint. Downstairs, I had the honor and privilege of watching them teach the jiu-jitsu. Yes. I saw they have one side that was teaching gi, one no gi. They teach Muay Thai and
yes. So we have a Muay Thai coach. He has his classes during the week, in the mornings, in the evenings. We got jiu-jitsu coach that they teach during the day. Professor Jacob Landon, he's the actual owner of the gym. He's actually, man, I'm actually real proud of that guy, man, because that dude, he used to fight. He was fighting professional, retired, and I guess he just had a vision, man, and to open a gym. When I walked into this gym, I think it was after a show here in San Antonio for Fury. It was at the Boeing Center. He comes up to me. He says, "Hey, Joe, come to the gym. I want to talk to you." You know, and I come to the gym. My mind wasn't really, because I had stopped coaching people for a while. I had stopped working at a gym because I was just concentrating on the whole Cutman thing, you know. And I would work with different fighters here and there, like Zach Borrego. He's signed with Fury. Different fighters, man. And but I was not affiliated with the gym. So I come and I'm thinking in my head, man, let me just see where his mind's at. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, man. But just, you could tell just by talking to somebody, you know.
Right.
His mindset was just different. My mindset is we were meeting halfway, you know, and you need that, you know, in order to build a solid foundation. And so I said, yeah, let's do it, man. So probably the best move I ever made. I'm actually happy to come to the gym now, you know, because I guess it's because it's so big too, you know, because you could either train upstairs in the private or you could train downstairs, whatever, you know what I mean? Nobody bothers you, but probably the best decision I ever made, man. And I'm actually happy to wake up in the mornings and come and work, you know? So, and a lot of it goes to that guy, you know what I mean? He gave me the opportunity, man. So I'm going to run with it and trying to build the best killers in Texas, bro. They're known for jiu-jitsu, but now they're going to be known for the striking. So, you know, House of Striking and House of Ju Jitsu.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to kill the MMA world, man, straight up.
Yeah, I mean, and it seems like y'all have the right mindset, you know, to be an elite champion. You got to live, breathe, sweat it, you know. And for y'all to have everything at your disposal, you know, you got a man that's an expert at being a cut man, at mids for the striking, you know, and striking is great. You know, I've got a boxing background. I know a little bit of jiu-jitsu and judo, and I love it. Shout out to Revolution Dojo. But you know, if you know, Mike Tyson said it, right? Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the face, right? So you got to have a striking game, but at the same time, if striking is the only thing you have and somebody gets you to the ground and you don't know what to do, you know, it could be game over real quick.
Game over.
So
especially somebody that's really good with jits, man, they could put you to sleep like that. You know what I mean? So it's all, you know, it's done with. So it's always good to have both and just the knowledge of just watching. Like sometimes I'll sit downstairs and I'll just watch them as they run the jiu-jitsu classes. You know, by watching you also learn too. You know, So yeah, I'm a big fan of jits, man. It's and especially the way Jacob teaches it, man. He's very good at it, man. He breaks it down. He's not just the type of professor that wants to just show that, oh, I'm the black belt here, like I'm gonna destroy all you guys. Nah,
Right.
man. Like you see him working with these white belts, man, or blue belts, and he's just, he's working with them. It's different. He's not trying to smash them or nothing. He's just, letting them work, letting them get their build their foundation as far as knowing what to do and stuff like that. And he knows how to break stuff down, and that's what makes a really good professor.
I couldn't agree more. Leaving your ego out the door, being very humble, being supportive, and having patience, and I think all those are key components to being successful and actually progressing. Because I don't think anybody wants to jump into something not really, because starting off and not knowing it, initially is already a little peculiar, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to be great at anything, you gotta get over that, right? It's a part of life, makes you stronger. But if you go into something, you got somebody that's like all puffed up and trying to just that's not a learning environment. So that's awesome. Y'all have an excellent environment for learning, for growth, and what comes from that is pretty much champions.
Exactly.
Because when everybody's progressing, everybody's eating. Going to compete and everything like that.
Yeah,
So
exactly, man.
yeah.
And we might not agree on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But as long as we're winning,
Right.
that's all that matters. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? As long as everybody's happy,
Right.
It's all that matters. And we got everything, man. Coach Zumbi, he's the Muay Thai coach. He's actually, man, that dude's a killer. He could tell he doesn't play. Muay Thai. I tell everybody, Muay Thai is just it's different, man. You know what I mean? It's a brutal sport. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, man. I see coach sometimes in the evening, coaching the classes, his Muay Thai classes, man, and yeah, that dude's a savage, bro. He's different. He's built different. And so we got a pretty good group of coaches here, man. Really, we're pretty bad. We're pretty blessed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, well, praise God for that. And it's crazy, like with you were saying he's built different. Muay Thai, from what I heard, he's literally built different because when you're throwing kicks like that all the time, your body literally it adapts, it develops, and so it's great. It's awesome. One thing that tripped me out with jujitsu is how technical it is. How one small mistake can cost you so much, but at the same token, if you know what to look for, or if you know how to get out of other positions, I mean, it's like it's like chess in a sense. You could go on your first day and you'll pick up a few things, but so it takes, I don't know, 15 minutes to get started, a lifetime to master, right? Yeah. But it's excellent.
Yeah, man, it is. Man, just being around MMA, man, it's just changed my whole. Because I came from the boxing background,
right?
I pretty much was raised my whole life. My family would watch, get all the big fights: Oscar De La Hoya versus Iko Tay, Oscar De La Hoya versus Fernando Vargas, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield,
right.
Cesar Chavez, all them. Oscar De La Hoya will always be my favorite fighter, of all time for me. I think he had the fastest jab anybody's ever seen. But just being so when I jumped over to the MMA world, which was probably about 6 years ago, I've only been in the MMA world 6 years, bro.
Okay.
So jumped over to the MMA world, and maybe longer. Shit, maybe 7 years. I don't know. But anyways, so it hasn't been that long. But I jumped over. Probably the best decision I ever made. It just made me more open-minded as far as it humbled my ass.
Oh yeah, so sorry about that, folks. We had a little technical difficulty. We're back with you, but yeah. So like you were saying, so that you come from a boxing background, and you've been in the MMA arena for about 6 years, and so far you've just learned that it's humbled you.
Yeah, it's humbled me. It's just different, man. MMA fighters, man, you have to be well-rounded. You have to be good at jits. You have to be good at wrestling. You have to be good at perfect at striking. That way you don't get on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to be a well-rounded fighter, man. I just think that the two worlds are different, obviously, right? But I've learned that in MMA, man, it's humbled me more. MMA fighters are very humble, but let a dude take you to the ground. You know what I'm saying? And see what happens, or let a boxer gets in his boxing stance, let a guy just knock that knee out. you don't have your knee no more with the kick, see what happens, so it's definitely been a blessing, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I love both the sports. I feel like they're both art forms that require unheard of discipline in order to be properly proficient at it, to do the sport justice. Not even know if you should really call boxing or MMA a sport. I mean, it is, but it's more of a lifestyle because if you don't breathe, sweat, and live it, it'll eat you up. But I mean, the rewards for sticking with it and running after it, man, nothing like it. It's a tremendous blessing.
They're different, man. It's just you can't train a lot of MMA fighters. They feel like they want to learn how to box, but you can't really teach an MMA fighter how to box because it's just two different things, because you can't roll too low,
right?
You're gonna get kneed,
Okay.
You can't slip too much to the left, to the right, or to the left because there's a kick. It could be a switch kick, or there could be a round. You know what I mean? So everything has to be real tight and real compact. Like the rolls got to be real fast. They got to be pretty much perfect because if not, there's guys that throw wild punches. You roll it, they're coming with that knee. You're gonna run right into the knee. And like I said, like when you do everything, it has to be pretty much real tight and on point. You can't. It's just two different styles. Boxing is definitely a beautiful art, but MMA is also beautiful art.
Right, for sure.
That's why we keep doing it. That's why we keep training and keep getting better every day. Because once you feel like you've already mastered everything, then hang the gloves up and do something different. You know what I mean? But nobody's gonna ever master boxing. No one's ever gonna master MMA. Well, except your Floyd Mayweather. It's different,
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's been excellent talking with you.
Yeah,
It's been a tremendous blessing, and I look forward to going to some of the fights, supporting House of Ju Jitsu and your Mitt Man work and everything that you do. I had the privilege of watching you work with some fighters today. They look like, you could tell that the bond was there and the desire was there. Both of those things that you absolutely need for sure, 100% without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. So again, go ahead and let everybody know where to find you on social media, where to find the fights and everything like that.
Facebook is under Joe Eric Pereira, or else you could click Mitt Man _Joe. On Instagram, it's Mitt Man _Joe. I'm on TikTok. It's the same thing, Mitt Man _Joe, or else Threads too, Mitt Man _Joe. You're gonna find a bunch of my pad work, bunch of my Cupman stuff, anything that anybody wants to use from there, use it, man. There's no secrets in the fight world. Use it, perfect your craft, whatever it is that you want to do. I'm not a selfish coach. I'm not a selfish Cupman. Take it all and use it.
There you go. Well, again, folks, you heard it here. Make sure to give him a follow, subscribe to him on YouTube. I guess if you have any questions, reach out to him if he's free. He may, I'm sure he'll take the time to respond. Thank you to Square Sauce Media for sponsoring this video. Again, folks, it's How You Do That podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Square Sauce Media. Until next time, stay blessed, lose the stress. I'm Seth, and I'm out.
That was good, dude.
Appreciate it.